Up there he is.
beckon to destination.
What's up, Bill?
Ancient,
What's up, Marco?
hidden, forgotten.
My return
This
to Gabbin.
is Harbor Town.
Mark, you can hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good, good. Awesome.
Harbor Town is an all-new series from Miniature Building Authority, the leader in tabletop gaming scenery. Unique, flexible, and playable, Harbor Town will take your games to a new destination. From the edge of the sea,
Definitely need more water.
Yeah.
Not enough. Guess I'll have to go to Hobby Lobby more. Bothering me.
I told you. Ding, 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 ding. Predator's Rejects just sent a thing out to his entire viewer base. We're live now in his Discord. That was really nice. I just got it on a Discord pop-up. That's pretty amazing. Thank you if you're on, Jimmy. Entry screen coming up.
This might work.
Everyone have a good weekend?
Yeah,
so far.
beautiful weather, so I'm not complaining.
Keep that MST 3K allure up. And there's Frank. It was his quote for that. Vesve Forest in the Valley of the Highfolk. Wow, some memories there. Although when we think of memories with that, we always go back to Mark's house with the pins and the pillow. Instead of the pit and the pendulum, it's the pin and the pillow.
All right, let's see how this dries.
All right, look at that. Pop that way up. Vesve. We say Vesve rocks, so.
It's probably wrong.
You say it correctly.
We say everything correctly because we're from South Jersey. We don't have any Philly accent.
You guys.
You skies. The best.
And the world famous, would you like a glass of water?
Yep.
Yeah, it's spelled W-O-D-E-R.
There, see, Mark, they got billboards all along 95 now. And they're talking about Philly, how you sell water. It's W-U-D-R.
Yeah. All right, guys. Nice crowd already before even starting. Awesome. Coming on. Vesve Forest. I'm drinking soda. Hey, good evening, everyone. How are you? I'm Jay K. Lorcazumba. I got the dynamic duo below me. I got DM Marco, a great old friend of mine who's been on a lot of shows. This is our 40th show, guys, right? Unbelievable. We've done this 40 times. And I also have Bill, great friend Bill. We call him Bill the Master Crafter. He's working on something now. He's going to show us what he's working on at the end of the show. So we're going to, and hello to everyone. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Naz. Hey, Will. Hey, Frank. Hey, Grendel. Hey, Timmy. Hey, Rox. Hey, Sprocket. And everyone else that's on tonight. Thanks a lot for hopping on, man. Really appreciate it. I think it's going to be a fun show. We've never really talked about this area because we just started playing here.
I think it's past Naz's bedtime, isn't it?
Yeah, guess what? Yeah, Naz was online. We won't spoil it, but Naz, Bill, and I, and one other person were on Zoom today working on something, and then Naz went and played D&D. He told me for 7 straight hours.
Oh,
yes, 7 straight hours. And he came back and he's watching this, and he has his own poo poo and caca equivalent too. He just told me.
The only thing I can do for 7 straight hours is sleep.
Well,
actually, I don't. I can't sleep for 7 straight hours anymore. I got to get up to pee at some point.
Come on, man. The old days. I told Naz a story about the one that Alan went to church, came back, and with Tim DMing, it was the same round.
Yeah.
So, we are playing our group, the Druid group, aka the Defiled Glades Reclaimers. I love Anna's map, but this map really shows everything you need to know. This is out of the Marklands, and look, my cover is completely fallen off on the Marklands. My cover is completely fallen off of He is the Evil. I don't even know where they are. They're downstairs somewhere. That's how much use I get out of these books. And I know Will had a post up, what was your 3 greatest references? And I said, this was one reference together. You need one without the other. Right, Mark? What do you think on that?
Yep. Oh, no, absolutely. You have to have both of them together. Both.
And this just keeps on falling down, driving me crazy. So I got the Vesve Forest printout map from that because it's got some really great detail. I use Eas. We've always said Eas, Will, in the lands of South Jersey. So, yes. Yes, they're meant to look this way.
Eas.
That's the way we say it in the land of the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. Plus
the Eagles.
The Eagles. We're gonna have a place that's kind of you'll see in a little bit that's got the Eagles name in it in this area. I think that was just ironic. I don't think Bill meant to do that because Bill's always a Redskins fan, which is weird.
I think that's the original name, actually.
No, you named it. Oh, you're right. I may have named it that, and then you kept it. That's true. That's true. So you have the Vesve, and look at the size of this. I mean, this place is huge, and there's all sorts of great adventuring you can do in it. We have 2 groups that are in the Vesve Forest almost permanently. Mark, why don't you tell us about your earliest experience us playing in the Vesve, even if it's a story we've already heard, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say it would be the Merlin Spoon incident.
Always a good one. Always a good one.
Probably the most. So essentially what happened was we were sitting in the desert. We were trying to clear out an area. I want to say it was a bunch of hobgoblins that we were messing with, or ogres or something. And effectively we had captured one of them, and we had people that were interrogating him.
Tim's on.
And in typical Jay fashion, he was not giving up any information, cheating as usual. And so he
typical Jay
look on his face, acting out what the humanoid was doing. And he says, "I'm not going to tell you shit." And so my character Spooter, who I'm playing in this group that we've been playing on Thursdays lately, he has a magic item which is called a Merlin Spoon. And if you look at the Unearthed Arcana, the what it's intended to do is it is a magical spoon that if you put it inside of any kind of cylindrical object, container, if you will, and you spin it around, it magically makes this pasty, as it said, pasty glue-like
wet cardboard
gruel that tastes like warm, wet cardboard. But it is highly nutritious, very organic. And so essentially what he did was he put his Merlin spoon inside the guy's mouth and started spinning it around. And he kept coughing out all this gruel. He's like, "I'm fine, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that is a good story. And yeah, absolutely. That was, oh, how about you, Bill?
Well, I mean, that when I first started playing with you guys
Use guys.
I'm using my Philly accents here. When I started playing with you, mid '90s, you redid that the Camp 1 campaign, or the series of adventures.
Yeah, Dreadwood. I redid the Dreadwood campaign that Mark said at the time was my best DMing ever. Right, Mark? I'll hold you to that.
Yes, but I used to drink a lot back then.
and then I redid it because Bill and a couple other people were new to this. Has got to be 92, 93 then. And I redid it in the Vesve because we had some newer characters like 5th, 6th, 7th, and we wanted to bring them through. And I kind of changed up a couple things. Yeah, that's when we the Vesve. It's adventure number 256, Vesve Missions. It was the name of it. Yeah.
I developed Alanor, my elven fighter, and Jodar, my half-orc fighter cleric. But I was also playing another character at that time.
And we're going to get caught up with some people who also, as we're going, "Hey there, Grendel, that's ode to you." So, yeah. Who else?
I was using Tom the Vindicator.
Yes, you were. You were. You didn't have a character.
And I made Tom a different character than Tom currently runs him. He was a strange man who wore white linen and was a little odd.
Tom doesn't forgive you for doing that to his character, by the way. But he undid. I got all these people. These are all Carlos followers. Thank you so very much. As I'm bringing them up to get the numbers up to where they should be, and they all have jumped over and given us a follow. So I would say thanks to all of them. Yeah, that's true. See, Tom the Vindicator was your first Vesve mission. That's interesting.
Yeah,
to say the least on that. Wow.
Yeah, and at the
real funny part was what Jay was saying about Tom the Vindicator. Oh, it's just this character that guy that we used to play with used, and
Yeah, and now Tom's back in full, and but Tom had come back once before for like a couple months, and
Tom was off sporadically. He would say he was coming every time we'd see him, and then he would do the show.
Right, that's true.
And now he's back, which is great.
He's back, and he's a regular now, and it's so great to have him. Who threatened, by the way, Merlin Spoon? Who threatened to stick someone's Merlin Spoon up someone's behind on Thursday night if something happened?
Yeah, that was the same. That was the same thing with Scooter. Somebody was going to cast a spell. It was the sap. It was a sap spell.
Oh yeah.
And I said, if I get stuck, you're going to get a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah, I forgot about that completely.
Yeah, you don't want a giant sized halfling shoving a rolling spoon in your bum.
Yeah, you don't. So we go way back in the Vesve Forest, but we didn't dabble. We just dabbled in it, and after that Vesve skirmishes, we stayed there. Now, the one we talked about in the Druid discussion a couple weeks ago was that with I must preserve the balance, crazy Druid casting the creeping doom on everyone, and the hunt was he called the hunt. That happened before this. So that was almost like a one-off series of adventures I ran. Way back in the day, it was a Night of Ulick / Night of the Hart mission. And that happened way up north, way up the top here. We're venturing in multiple areas. What's that, Bill?
You were above the defiled glades for that.
Oh, way above the defiled glades. And if we get Anna's maps up, I'm going to show you where Eleanor Moonchild, which is one of Bill's highest level characters in the campaign. They found a fortress in the Vesve.
Partially destroyed and way overgrown.
Yeah, absolutely. It was called the Eagle's Nest, and that was adventure number 309. You can see it on the map here. It's on the Vesve Forest, Goblin Land, the Horde border. So Anna helped me put that in. That's where it is.
Eleanor also died taking it.
And with one of the worst critical hits that could ever happen to you, what happened?
He was killed by a Lossel throwing petrified dung.
Can you imagine? It's like getting hit in the chest with a hockey puck, I guess. Yeah.
I think he was hit in the head and killed him.
Instant death from a piece of shit from a Lossel. One of the worst deaths you can imagine, but he got raised, of course, and we're going to talk about that next week. And next week's an elf got raised. We'll discuss that next week under our house rules discussion. Yeah, rocks. Good way to kill someone. So that's way up here in the Vesve Forest, and then the Defiled Glades, which this map is up on the northern part where it sticks out the most northern. Oh shoot! I got the spinner on too quickly. That's where and I forgot to ask Anna to put that in there. That's where the Defiled Glades, the Grove fight we had from Thursday night is. It's a very tippy top of that Defiled Glades, and this Shadow Keep inside the Defiled Glades, you see. Anna couldn't find a reference to it. I mean, we looked everywhere. I mean, Living Greyhawk has something about Shadow Keep, but that's in the area of the Red Hand, which is in the Shieldlands, right? The Eastern Shieldlands.
Right.
We couldn't find it. She believes that she recalls it's a Shadow Claw secret base. The Shadow Claw is a secret, like a group of Eas, and that's what she believes it is. She's looking, and she still hasn't gotten back to me on information on that. But so that's the area those are the two areas we have actual presence, a grove in one and a keep in another. And the grove is up, and we did a lot of combat inside that grove. A Black Death squad attacked the grove on Thursday night, and they paid for it. The Black Death squad, they got slaughtered. So here we go. Here it was some map pictures. There's the grove. I'll let scroll from here. There's some good so Tom always takes stills, and I upload them and show them to everyone. So Red Hand is part of the Bandit Kingdoms. Will used to be in the Shieldlands. Yeah, well, that's true. But in our campaign, I'm not even sure if we have the Red Hand in or not. So that's a good question.
Because that was a module that came out.
3. It was a 3rd edition module, but then Living Greyhawk really pushed that whole eastern, southern Bandit Kingdoms, eastern Shieldlands area into the Red Hand, like an entire area. So that's it depends on your game there with that one. But and Mark may do something with it. I know Mark's done some Red Hand stuff.
Yep.
So, cool. I see. That's why I love having other DMs on, have other input. That's his area, so he knows it up and down, man. We rarely have done stuff in the Bandit Kingdoms, so that's
Bandit Kingdoms are the best. One of my favorite characters is a Bandit Kingdom,
which is your players.
One of my players is from the Bandit Kingdoms. Yes, She's from Sterich, or not from.
You're Saxon?
Yes, Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina Wildbrand. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. We have a ton of adventures. I tried to go through them all. I don't know if I got them all. In 848 adventures, I found a ton of them. As you can see, boom, 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 boom. A lot that we've done in the Vesve. So, Mark, what do you think is the coolest thing about the Vesve Forest that we've tapped on? Organization, person, story you like? What do you think? Vesve Highfolk too. I mean, the Valley of the Highfolk is important in this area just as well.
That's a hard.
I know. I just threw that out there.
I'd probably say the most interesting. Well, so the most interesting would be, in my opinion, would be a character of Alan's. Something that was never done before, ever in the campaign. That's Mistus. Being up there. And so for those of you that are not familiar with everything 1E, so 1E had a concept of where if you're playing humans, you don't have multiple classes unless you do what's called a dual class. And effectively, you have to have the appropriate stats to be able to migrate from one class to the other. So she started off as a straight mage, and then eventually became an illusionist, if I remember. I don't have that back.
Yeah, she dual classed to an illusionist. Yeah.
Yeah, so she has, if I remember, she also has Rings of Wizardry, which actually double spells in both. And she has an unbelievable amount of spells that she
One or the other. It's one or the other.
She has the most spells of any character in the campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what makes her the most interesting is that she has one spell that nobody else has in the entire campaign.
And for all of you aficionados out there, it's a homegrown one, and it's based on hopefully I don't offend anyone by this, but do you know when a dog drags his butt along a carpet? All right, everyone's seen that, and it's so. One of Walt's, our player's friend, a friend of his, a surfing buddy, his named Jimmy called out, the dog has hiney spiders, right? So that just stuck, and she has that spell. So if you fail it's an mass area effect. If you fail your save, you feel the unbelievable urge to get on the ground and rub your behind down. Yes, it's a kind of a nasty spell, but it's a kind of
it's a juvenile.
It's typical for us in our juvenile behavior. I admit, but yeah, she does have that. But she is not the only dual class illusionist mage in the campaign. You are incorrect.
Oh, my apologies.
Who would that be? I don't know who the other one is.
It's an NPC.
Oh, well. Yeah.
No, it's got to go back to Monty Hall days.
Kind of, yeah.
Pre-me, because I don't remember it.
Lady Valencia Page. Lord Page's ex-wife.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
And I'm just telling you, and Skeeve's new betrothed. Hey, do you like that? Will you have any of the DMs out there? You have my permission to use. I think it's fifth or it's sixth. It's a high level spell. You have my permission. If you want to get the details on it, I'll give you the information on it. And we have it in our book and everything. So, but some evil mage cast it on the group, and she got it out of his spell book, and she's refused to ever give it to anyone else. So it's kind of funny, actually.
I think until she cast it, she wasn't sharing it.
Yeah, that was what he said, and I think she hasn't still cast it in an adventure. She had it memorized once, but didn't cast it. So, Bill, what's your favorite Vesve individual moment? I think I know where you're going to go.
Well, a moment? I don't know if I have a moment, but a group that's my favorite. And it's my good friends with the Torch of Grumsh.
It's exactly right. Does everyone know, if you look at this area here, and you have the Lands of Eas running up here, okay? And you have the Land of the Timeless Tree where the Grey Elves are, okay? The Falglades are down here. You have this what's called the Raising Line down here. Way down here off the map is Castle Elanestra, where Sharnalem is, and you have Serenol in there. And I actually found that Highfolk Knight of the Heart list. And And up in this area is all disputed, and right where the eagle's nest is in disputed lands. Well, the Torch of Groomsh is up there, and they're orcs in the Goblinoid lands, and they are nasty, but they hate the Eas orcs and the Eas Goblinoids. And it says it right in the Marklands and the Eas Evil books. So tell the story from that point on, Bill. It's a great story.
I don't really remember the exact details. I mean, it was 20-some years ago. But right. Jonar, my half-orc, he definitely takes after his orcish side. He likes to fight, and we met them, and they actually offered him he's an honorary member. They asked him to rip his own eye out to join the group and gave him a wooden model of the torch.
With a big spike on the end.
Yep, and for plucking your eye out. We've worked with them in the past because they are indigenous orcs, and the orcs are evil. It's an uneasy partnership that we have with them, and it works.
It is probably the most the best use of the enemy. My enemy is my friend deal that we've ever done in the campaign, where you're allying with orcs from Groomsh orcs. They're fanatical. All the priests have poked one of their eyes out with that torch. The torch. You're missing the fun part. Now, I'm going to be very PC on this. So, Jonar brought Walt's character, Riff. He's a dual class fighter, necromancer. He fights. Yeah. He usually doesn't have armor on, and he just walks around in a loincloth, and he has a harpoon as a weapon. So another dual class human, very nasty character. So
fighter necromancer.
Yes, Jonar brought him along, and they were saying, "Boy, you have really great slaves. You really have a great servant. and Riff didn't like that at all, but played along because he's human, and it went over great. I remember. Will brings up something. I'm going to talk about that. That was fantastic, and they worked. The Torch of Groomsh is actually allied not with the Knight of Order Ulick, because Jonar has recently, by the way, been promoted to area commander of the Sphere of Influence of the Vesve. So Jonar's first is the CO, and Rael, the NPC, my fighter cleric, is another. Is the
hottest girl in the campaign.
Yes, he's in love with her. Yes,
of course, according to Jonar.
According to Jonar. So they work with them if they have to against the forces of Eas, which I find
we have fought along with them.
Yes, I find that cool. That good characters will work with the evil in this case to eliminate a greater evil. And it's one of the political.
If I also remember, the Druid group has worked along with them or had contact with them, and they leave each other alone because, once again, they're indigenous to the area. So the Druids don't see them as
correct. So our default grades reclaimer group that we're playing right now. And there's only like 2 characters that are 9th. So we're talking about 7th, 8th level. You know how quick in 1st, 2nd edition straight druids and straight thieves go up.
Yep.
They made basically a pact with them, especially with the druids, because the orcs of Groomsh actually respect the druids if they leave them alone. So they have a neutrality pact with them. And that happened in an adventure. You're correct. I can't note which one it was. I can. I looked. I don't know which one it was.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So. Yeah. So
the group is. I mean, that's been around a while too. So
now my favorite is. I have 2. And they're both NPCs. One you've seen very infrequently. I love the Passing Shadow. She comes.
An ebon skull.
Yes, she has an ebon skull. Her name, they know her as Dominique, and she's a thief of some sort. And she comes and holes up in an eagle's nest occasionally. And if you look in the references, she's just a thief extraordinaire, but Eas is chasing
her.
On the run. Yeah. So she makes it. I've used her in one adventure with them as an NPC add-on. I actually have 3. Second one, I love is Alosha, the tattoo artist. So, and that's the books I forgot. Out of the Relic and Rituals Black 1 and 2, if you want to add something new to your campaign, there's Tattoo Magic. Oh, excellent, Rox. I know you're watching both. You tell them we are raiding into them, hopefully with a whole bunch of people at the end to finish up his fundraiser. So I know, Rox, you're going to bounce back and forth. You're watching both at the same time. That's fantastic. But we will rate. Everyone, please hang on till the end. This is day 3 of Carlos's fundraiser. I played in day 1. Greyhawk Mike played in day 2. We have 5 characters each. This is his 3rd time running 5 characters through it for charity. We're going to raid our channel into his at the end. And that's CASL Entertainment. And anyone who's on who hasn't, if you could do me a favor, when we get on, throw him follows. If you can afford to donate to it. Throw him some follows, though, guys, because Carlos is as old school as I am. Plus any of our partners, Wicked Studios, Nightheart Gaming, Praetors Rejects. Oh, there's Amanda. Hey, Amanda. Thanks. That's Carlos's wife. Yeah, no problem, Amanda. No problem. Please give them follows. We're trying to create a team here as we move forward. And we'll talk about that at the end of the night too. So, I love the tattoo artist, Alosha. I love the Tattoo Magic. Mark's using it for his Crusader kind of now down in Harby, which is cool.
Yep.
But it's based on your con. So you can only have 1 or 2 tattoos max. It's not very powering, but you can do curing spells or resistance to cold or light spells or stuff like that in the tattoos. It's kind of like an innate ability then. It's really neat. If anyone wants to know where to find that, I'll let you know. You can just send me a whisper. The 3rd and final, and Brian's going to get a kick out. What's that?
Mine's way better.
Yeah, it is. You do have way better stuff. 3rd and final, and Bill's going to get a chuckle out of this, and Brian's going to get a chuckle out of this. This character became the guild master of our World of Warcraft guild on a Greymane server back in 2004, and that's my Incantatrix Florentia. and there's Deathly Silence. She's a character
there's another name that I call her by. It's a little less PC.
She's a member of the group up in the Eagle's Nest. She's neutral. Incantatrix is a Forgotten Realms subclass of mage that was in one of the Dragon magazines. And she's the only one we've ever done the campaign. She's an NPC, but she kind of doesn't do much. She just kind of hangs around and strokes up experience. So, everyone loves her. But I had to mention her. So, politically, talk about Bill, and Mark, talk about what you think of the interaction between the Knights of the Hart, the Highfolk, and the Order of Ulick.
Well, to be honest, there really hasn't been. The only knight character I have up there is Alinor, who's not a Knight of Ulick. He's a Knight of the Heart.
Yes, he is.
We don't really do a lot of interaction. We've only had a handful of adventures at best where they've actually worked together or not worked together.
But you got to think of before when the other Bill was playing and who else was the NPC.
That may have been before my time, though.
Okay.
So it's.
Hey, Crit RP's coming in again. Thanks, Gratuitous RP. Another partner of ours. Look at that. They have the green unicorn head up. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you so very much. Yes, and there's Tom. Our player with the white linen, Tom the Vindicator. We talked about that earlier. So Alinor's on this list. This list of Knights of the Heart is not the entire list. This is known personages that we have involved in the campaign. I got it up too quick. Oh, wait a minute. I can fix that. So Alinor's on this list. Some names that are in canon: Serenalil, Sharnalim. I think there are only 2. Sir Florum. Now, I should have mentioned him last week. He is an honorary member of the Order of Ulick. He's a Knight of the High Forest. He lives in the most upper north area of the Valley of the Highfolk. He's very wealthy, and a lot of elves in our campaign have tried to court him, including the other Bill's character, Alistrina, to no success. But he's a very high, powerful Knight of the High Forest, in that area. Mark, have you ever had any workings with Florum?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I
Okay.
do remember the name.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one that
High Forest.
isn't he the one that is the father of Lena's kids?
No, that's Sir Harn. That's Sir Harn from County Ulick. It's cool. Hey, so thank you so very much, Silver, Crit, and the rest of your group. I really appreciate it. That's the second time. I know the timing you coming in. Thanks. We appreciate it. Hopefully, we can return the favor, and we always try and return the favor with raids. In fact, we're going to be raiding Carlos Lysing's channel when we're done here tonight. He had a lot of interaction, I thought, with David and Railstone when Alistrini was playing, if I recalled. I thought that was remember we did the Bane of the Shadowborn? What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it's entirely possible.
Yeah, I know we're going back 25 years,
Yeah.
30 years.
That was before my time.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, this is how we go back when the campaign goes back 40 years and you turn 52. You don't remember a lot. I understand me. And then so Orlando Windmaple, Lady Tira Latoma was a character that Bill brought in just as a placeholder to have a character. So technically, is her sheet still in your folder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she only used for that one giant melee.
Yeah.
The one giant battle system that we did.
Yeah, we did do the battle system.
And I wasn't even playing that. It was just a character was added in for it. Yeah. I was around. And
then Eleanor, who's kind of interesting. So the Eagle's Nest, you have a Knight of the High Forests keep with Order of Ulick members there, and in particular, those members are Rael, Jonar, Branwyn, right? Sven the Red, Mistis. Am I missing someone? I'm looking at the picture right now. I think that's it. I think we sometimes bring in some other characters. I know Walt has floaters in there.
Yeah, it was never really a formal adventuring group.
Right.
This was before we started doing groups.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I had Alhana, I know, coming in and out of there as well at one point.
You did, absolutely. Absolutely, until she found a home in the Iron Brigade in Greyhawk City.
Yes.
Now, the second picture of groups you see, the Defiled Glades Reclaimers, that is a set group. And look at that. You have a nice, that Halfling Guardian there, and there's a picture of the Eagle's Nest. I found it, Bill. There's your keep up, okay?
Yeah.
So you have, the idea was to get druids, everyone playing at least one druid for the most part, or an Avenger subclass, and just run with it as playing a neutrally aligned group, and it's been a lot of fun. We got away from it because we've just been doing a lot of Order of Ulick stuff lately. But I know Alan loves this group, so I wanted to get back to it and give it a shot. So we're going to play this probably for last week and for the next 2 weeks. This adventure is going to be going on. So you're going to see, and if you think a Black Death Squad was nasty at the beginning, just wait till you see what I throw at them next week. So that'll be interesting, to say the least. Mark, on... let me take a look here. I know there was a point when you were out of it, because when you moved, you weren't around. But what do you like about the Defiled Glades group? Like, I know you have a Guardian in there and a reincarnate. Talk about her too. Talk about her. Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great topic.
I'll start there. So actually, she started off as Alan and I had conspired to do the against Wayne.
Of course.
So Wayne wanted to play an archer mage for the longest time. He wanted to have a multi-class archer mage, and Jay wouldn't allow it. And Alan and I found the loophole in there that says, well, there's nothing stopping a dual class from actually happening. So he started a character named Zizix, who is a human archer, and I started a character named Allison, who was a female human archer. And he was going to dual class Zizix as an archer mage, which he eventually did. And I was going to do the same with her, except she was going to be an archer illusionist. And what ended up happening was, in typical fashion, Jay killed off another one of my characters. And he was raised dead.
I was always a jerk. I admit it. I don't know what was wrong with me.
Yep.
It was Tim. It was Tim. I can blame Tim because everyone.
There you go.
Okay.
But
You
at
gotta
any rate,
take ownership of it.
I take ownership. I do.
at any rate, I still needed to have some characters, and so because I was very few and far between. Jay was sending to Hurt so much, so I actually had Jay reincarnate her as a half-elf fighter magic user. She retained all of her stuff and had to reroll stats and things like that, but she has vague memories of what ended up being her former life. Now, she got introduced into that actual group. I had a different, when we started this off, the initial group, I had an Avenger and I had an Elven Cavalier, which is a specialty class that we actually use inside of our campaign. It's not just a Cavalier. There's specifics around it. Named Claylana and Ameldor. And they actually got moved out. They are now with the group that I want to say was based out of Greyhawk, but I don't remember that for sure.
Yeah.
But effectively, they got moved out, and Spooter and Amilla, as her name is now, got moved in. Now, she actually has some pretty nasty types of spells that nobody else in the campaign has actually used. One that's called Drider Form, which gives her the ability, it's a 4th level spell, it actually gives her the ability to turn into a Drider.
It's a straight mage spell, and you're the only one that uses it and uses it effectively.
Yep.
It is a nasty spell,
Yep.
and use it very well.
Yeah. So at any rate, what I remember most about that actual group was I want to say that was the first time that we introduced Avengers into the mix.
Yeah, it was.
At least in my memory.
Yes, it was.
And so Avengers, for those of you who have watched some of our other series on Gabbin, we talked about them just, I want to say either a month or two ago, that I liken them to almost like, and I don't mean to be non-PC by this, but the term that always comes to my mind is called tree hugger, where effectively they are nuts about nature and
we're like eco-terrorists.
Yeah, that'd be another good one. But they actually are take it to the limit in regards to that nature is taken care of without any sort of thought of anybody else. So
Bill just went off. I think Bill just there you go.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, what happened? Your power went out?
Yeah, my cord wasn't like a low battery.
I was like, whoa, okay, well, cool.
Yeah. So that was an interesting ad that we had. You know, and at that point was kind of being play tested and then kind of grew from there.
Yeah. All right. Mark again. I want you, and you can see the combat up in the upper right. What a slaughter that was. The tree and orc split. Got burned real bad with a fireball by the dark elf from the Black Death Squad of He is. And he animated 2 of his trees, and Bill had figures done for it to turn trees into, he can make them almost into trees themselves. But Spooter Paddywhack, his brother's Knick-Knack Paddywhack, who's a fighter halfling. He's a guardian, which is another one out of the Dragon magazine we use. Great. It's kind of like a paladin almost for a halfling. Yeah. Great class. Talk about that spell, giant size, you did.
Oh, sure. So the concept of the guardian, like Jay was mentioning, is if you think of it as almost like the human paladin. It was a variation that came out of the Dragon magazine, and I ended up selling it to Jay about using it because, everybody that was always playing halflings, and even them were few and far between. Like, I can never remember a time Jay, yeah, but Alan or Bill ever playing halflings other than
I've never played one.
Yeah. And I've always really liked the small folk for whatever reason. And so, but they always were like druids or thieves. and just because of their affinity for nature and their ability
Dex, yeah, the high
for
dex.
stealth and those types of things. And so I read in the article about it, and I was like, it really does make sense. I mean, and I guess my inspiration really behind it as well was, and here's a blast from the past, the movie Willow. So in the movie Willow, when they were trying to return the baby, they had these halfling guardians, and I can never remember the one character's name. But
the one with the spear?
Yeah, he was like the greatest
Right.
fighter they actually had.
He didn't want to leave, but the big
Bungar.
guy. Yeah.
I think it was Bungar.
Yeah.
Right.
Burgle
And so
Cut
that
was the
kinda-
big fat one that was a pain in the ass.
Right.
Yes.
They got shit on by the birds.
Yeah.
But it was kind of the inspiration behind the class. And so if you actually go back in the Dragon magazine and take a look at the class, it has some abilities for it to be able to meet up with and fight against greater foes. And so it has 2 actual spells that are indigenous to Halfling Guardians, one of which is called Human Size, and the other of which is called Giant Size. Both of which happen exactly as what it sounds like, that they grow to that appropriate size. Human Size allows them to grow, I think, to 18, I want to say 18 strength, I want to say, or it's like 2 extra points. And giant size, and they grow to human size, and their short sword, which is their weapon of choice, also grows to be that of a long sword. But in their hand, as the spell says, it still feels like a short sword. So they still get all their appropriate bonuses and things of that nature. When they do giant size, they basically become a hill giant, and their sword becomes a bastard sword. And very much like the half ogre, using it one-handed, you get it as if it was two-handed. The
damage is crazy.
Still feels like an actual short sword in their hand. So when he actually does that, he fights with actually a real short sword in his secondary hand, and so he gets bonuses with both.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Did
you do 60 points of damage in one round?
Yeah. Well, and part of it is because they get multiple attacks. They get benefits, almost like specialization with short sword. And so when he's fighting two-fisted, he's actually getting, I think, 6 every 2, or no. What is it?
It's gonna
it's like 6 every 2.
Yeah, it's 2 then 4.
Yeah. And so on his 4, and when he's giant sized, I mean, he has a lot of benefits to hit. Has really great Thaco. Yes, Thaco. That are 1 ears and 2 ears.
Yeah.
And so he can do quite an awful lot, with 4 attacks.
It's sick, but you know what? It's the only class. Once again, it's a class that is very limited. I mean, you're the only one that has one. No, Walt has one.
Walt has
Aubrey Thorngreens, yeah. But that spell, when you get that, that's your coup de grace spell. That's your best spell you get.
Yes.
And by far.
That and his Merlin spoon.
So he uses it to great ability, and hey, I allow it. So it's my, but that's the way Guardian is. It's a one shot. You're going to be able to get that once per day, and yes.
Well, once every other day technically, because he gets spells at half rate.
Yes, you do. Just like a knight does. Just like a paladin does in our campaign. A ranger, knight, they all get half rate. Yeah. One spell first. Yeah, God.
Yeah, and you don't get it actually. You don't get it actually until like sixth level or 7th level anyway.
Right.
So, it's not like you can do it innately by any stretch of the mind. But they also have some other things very similar to like monks, where they can heal damage on themselves if they concentrate for a while. Similar to a paladin, they have what's called a warning sense. Like a paladin can detect for evil, or an undead hunter can detect for undead. They actually have a warning sense that if they're in a familiar area, they get to, they feel like the uneasy feeling to it.
They get spider sense.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. But it's things that are all indigenous to protecting a halfling community. and you're usually only going to have like one, maybe two. It's similar, so it's kind of a goulash of character classes, because it has some ranger abilities and tracking, some paladin abilities and doing detections, some druidic abilities and doing spells. I mean, it's just kind of that mishmash of things.
But it works.
Yeah, it works. It fits in really, really well. In fact, it fits in so well that in my campaign that I run on Monday nights, one of my players is actually playing a Halfling Guardian.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yep, that's Skady that unfortunately is missing a nose.
Oh, I forgot about that. You should put that a black piece of the stone onyx in, like Yetan Otherdrum or whatever his name was. Oh man, it was so long ago. Yeah, Legends of Nashi said he started with AD&D. Oh, by the way, guys, please feel free to ask questions, comments of your own campaign relations in the area, or something that comes to mind similarly. We always appreciate input from the audience. Feel free to ask any questions. Yeah, this is in year 39 of the campaign, and we did way back. Now another corny thing. What is Bill making? We're going to show that at the end, Brian. So we're going to show you everything he's working on, and some of this stuff is for Thursday night. And I didn't ask him. He did this. He just went at it and have at it, and it's great. So we'll be.
Well, hey, but you go get those shelves?
Did I go get the? I didn't have time. I didn't have time. I will get them next weekend. I promise. More IKEA shelves for Jay in his basement. So, yeah. So Legends of Nazrim. We go back so far that, like I said, some of the stories they kind of get eclectic, right? And we may tell them over and over again with a little different twist to them each time, but they're funny. Like the Honey Spiders one's funny. Also, a really corny thing is spread out throughout the Vesve Forest are these standing stones, kind of like Stonehenge things, right? All over the place.
Yep.
They hold certain secrets that they haven't really solved yet, but there's inscriptions on some of them. One has a feather, one has the 3 circles, one has the Zoso symbol. All right, so I ripped off all the symbols.
A lot of younger people have no idea what you're
I bet you Will knows, and I bet you Frank knows.
Well, I said younger people.
I bet you they know who those symbols are of 4 members of the greatest, the fathers of metal, one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time, right? So
young people don't know. They don't buy albums.
Oh my gosh!
They don't see them.
Yes. So the Led Zeppelin symbols of all the members are yep.
They
were so corny about that.
Are through
that honestly was one of the better adventures that you've written as well.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Those symbols.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Whew. Even after all I've done to Mark, he still says some nice things about me.
Hey, the truth is still the truth, regardless.
Well, Jay, as long as you keep sending the checks, it's fine.
Yeah, well, that was a little short, by the way.
Yeah, Nazrim, Bill, he's on an iPad and he's crafting, and I think if he changes the angle on it, it's going to fall on him. Trust me, at the end of the show, he's going to show all the stuff he's making. It'll be worth it. So he's actually crafting right now as we speak. So this is our version of a little mini crafting show this is what we're gonna, which is great. So you get to, that's it. You get to see what
this is the crafting show.
Yeah, so Bill's we call him Bill the Master Crafter, and Nazrim, if you watch our show or watch our vids, you're going to see some unbelievable stuff that he's done. The entire map out. Let me scan through. This entire map is 99% Bill. I'm looking there, and there's one Miniature Building Authority building, the one with the green over coating on it. That's it. I think everything else is yours, Bill, in that picture. No, the gates. The gates are MBA too. That's it. Everything else is his on that. Yeah, fantastic work. So and we try and MBA is our sponsor, and we love MBA, and we do a ton of MBA and Stratagem.
Some stuff they don't do.
Yeah, and Stratagem, who's the mats are Stratagem, and they're our newest sponsor, and they do great stuff, and they work well together. Having both those two. But Bill does all that. It's all his workings. Beautiful stuff, and that really adds a new a great flavor. Hey, thanks, man. Look at that. That's for you, Bill. So thank you for the follow. 8:45. Woo, man, it's coming a long way, guys. It's humbling, and I know our group talks about this a lot. I know Tom talks about it. Walt does as well. We're really humbled by the support over the last 6 months. It's been crazy, and I'm hoping that we'll talk about this a little bit at the end of the show. We can build a coalition of some great streamers together and really create some content for all of us that we really be proud of and really people will enjoy. And so I got something in the works now with one of the other channels, and we'll discuss that at the end of the night. I think you guys will be excited. You guys don't even know about it, so I'm looking forward to that. When you get to the Defiled Glades, if you don't know about the Defiled Glades, just say up in yes, Grendel. If you say something up, the Defiled Glades are a nasty area. No one knows why they became the way they became, but 1,000 Knights of the Hart died in the battles there, and it says in the Marklands 500 of them were elite. So there's magic items strewn all over the place. But as it's kind of like, I guess they wanted to give it a Lord of the Rings feel for the Dead Marshes, right?
I would say that's
It's different though. It's not like that. There's woods, there's swamp, there's all sorts of stuff, bogs and mounds, and the expansion was
Tracts of land.
there was expansion going on until the Druid group that you have stopped it from in the north with what you're doing of all the healing that the Druids have done. Another thing that we've done is this Druid group. There was a call to the moot when we first started them, and there's a high level, the factions. That's what I wanted to go over. There's different factions we have of Druids. We went over this in the Druid and Ranger discussion. I bet you I don't. Here it is. Okay, let's talk about this. Is very important to what goes on in the Vesve for us. Here are the 4 factions of Druids. This does not count Obadiah. Obadiah is the old faith for us. So Alocia, the tattoo artist, is Obadiah, but she's like a dying breed of Druid. So Serenus is the visceral aspect of nature, and that's out of the Celtic article. It's a supplemental article. He's not in Deities and Demigods. We love him. So I use Serenus a lot as a neutral, and we have neutral. Remember, you can go NE or NG with the Avengers. Neutral and a little bit of a tilt toward evil sometimes, just because of it's so mindless. But a lot of the members of in this group are Serenus worshippers. Alana goes neutral, good, and Alana is your typical of the forests. Everyone get along type. The head of the Vesve was an Alana druid who was killed, and then all hell broke loose, and that's how we started the new druid group back in the day. Then you have Rilthane Ralph. I'll skip that one. Rilthane Ralph, and that is the tree sapper that we saw on Thursday. So that's a Sylvan Elven, the great tree deity, and has some great spells. And you saw, if you watched Thursday night, you saw Lillian Longleaf, Alan's character, throw all those healing sap spells, and Amber prisoned the Priestess of Eas. It was great stuff. So yeah, standing stones like that, man. You can throw any kind of weird symbols you want on them, and just put a little mystery into it. But the last is the Master of the Hunt. The Master of the Hunt is in the Deities and Demigods book. Okay, he leads the hunt, the Great Hunt, right? I'll admit, I ripped off the spell list and the abilities from Forgotten Realms. I took Malar, which is the evil hunter deity, and I incorporated a lot of the Malar abilities into like those claws into this druid. Of course, take a good idea and you run with it, right? So they are the true enemy of all the other 3. They are against all of them. They want them all out because they say, you guys have screwed things up in the past. Now it's time for us to run things. Sounds like this. Oh, I better not say anything political. Whoop, I stopped myself. Stop. So, yes,
sounds like Fulton's people.
Yeah, I was going to say sounds like a socialist, but no. So, sorry. Hey, Lo, how are you? Good to see you. He is neutral evil. The Master of the Hunt is neutral with strong evil tendencies. All their druids are neutral evil. They are bent on the destruction of
Everyone.
Yes,
Who's not
everyone. Yes, Orc, the Torch of Groomsh, the Eas, the humans. They hate the human. Qualston, Flameflower. They want them gone. They tolerate the area of the tree, the Timeless Tree. They tolerate that. They tolerate the Sylvan Elves. Okay, they kind of tolerate the lesser goblinoids in there because they're like just they're there. But any organized group, they hate Knights of the Heart. They hate
they despise the Knights of the Heart.
They despise the Knights of the Heart. Groupsh is a great guy. They despise or Revealed members from what they've come across, but there's only a couple of them. So this is where we have druids fighting druids, and it's cool little dichotomy there. It's a cool fighting. And maybe hint, you may see that within the next 2 weeks. So quick hint.
Surprise!
surprise!
The druid group has seen dark elves. Happens a lot. Undead happens, and now more druids.
Yeah, especially druids. So that's the 4 factions that we built. Now, there were high-level druids in each of these. They all disappeared one night in the Vesve, all of them. They don't know why. When they do divination on them, they're all sitting around a campfire just chatting with each other. And every time they do divination, that's where they are. Now, if anyone is really into our canon, and that would be Naz in particular, he knows that one of them somehow got out, Shuko Fish, and he runs an outdoor bar now in Critwall. And he doesn't even know how he got out, but he was one of those characters. I just did that for a little comedy relief. And he's like, nah, I just appeared here. But the rest of those druids are all still sitting around the campfire, just having a little chat. So the lower level druids don't know what happened to them. So there's no one to stop the fighting. It's like
we all should just get along.
Yes, the leaders are gone, and now all the lower lessers are vying to be the leader of the whole shebang in the Vesve. Mix that in with all the Eas stuff going on. Mix that in with Knights of the Heart poking their nose in places they probably shouldn't. They should probably protect the Valley of the Highfolk a little bit. You get a real mess, and it's fun though. It works for us. It's fluid. It could be one day, it could be you're fighting with orcs with the Torch of Groomsh, and the next day you're fighting against orcs and orogs against Eas in the very same adventure. Very interesting mix. Bill, what would you like to put input-wise to add to this?
Oh, I mean, it's just that there for an area you think there wouldn't be a lot of political interest, there is, and it's it makes for a lot of fun. It does. And
it's not just traditional good versus evil. That's the difference. That's the difference. Yeah, that's the difference. It's not the good versus evil that you're all used to. It's the nature versus non-nature. So there's a lot of back and forth. Yeah, and that's kind of gray area too when you think about it. Legends there. You've set up a thing that is different from, and we love the good versus evil battle with the Order of Ulick, and that's where we go. That's our bread and butter. It's nice to change things up occasionally and change what your focus is.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of.
Oh, you're going again. Boing.
Crazy. We have a lot of groups that are not good versus evil groups.
Yeah, and
they may be in the areas where the knights are, but there's a lot of alternatives to that. So we do have a lot of fun with that.
It allows for a different type of play, and we saw that Thursday night. So if you didn't see it, it's on our vids. Last vid, it's Darkwood Hart, first part, Adventure 848. Just take a look at a little bit of the fight that goes on. You'll see the group works together. It works together well, but it's different than your normal mages with clerics, and you got a lot of druidic stuff going on there, which is a lot of druidic stuff going on. Plus, you got Mark's Guardian, which fits in perfectly.
Yep.
Where's he from? He's from the Vesve originally, correct?
No.
No.
Neither one of them are. He's from the county, and
okay.
Amelia's from the duchy.
Right. Okay. You're correct on that. I thought, is it Waltz that's from Waltz from there? I think Walt's Guardian is from there, but he had to flee, right, because he got in trouble. He's I think
He's got a lot of kids that aren't hit, shouldn't have.
Yes. Oh, I see a little tip of Warmonger's Tower.
What's that?
I saw a little tip on the end of Warmonger's Tower there. As it's
all I can give you is just the tip.
Just the tip, not the tip. Anything but the tip. Yeah. The Valley of the Highfolk. We haven't delved that much into it, as much as we should have, as far as role play and gaming there. But we've done a lot more than you think. We've actually sent missions on behalf of Highfolk in. A lot of the early stuff we did with the Knights of Ulick in the pre Eagle's Nest was with Sir Florm and the Highfolk. So we're talking about very old stuff. Here's the map. Okay, the Highfolk you see is running down here to the southwest, basically of the Vesve, as it hooks up and around a little bit more in Anna's map. It looks straight up and down in this map here, right? So you see the map's so detailed, and I love it. So fantastic. And you also see the Order of York symbol for the right is up there now, the green shield around. That is the Order of York symbol for functioning and in the sphere of influence of the Vesve Forest. Thank courtesy of Brian Blumklotz, who won one of our coin sets on Thursday night, along with Naz, and along with Uda Master. Oh my gosh, I can't even say his name. So we gave away 3 of those sets on Sunday night. I'm on last Thursday night. I know we bounced around a lot with groups because we have to, because we have so many, because in this campaign I'm not saying we got bored. It wasn't boredom, really. It was more of, we want to try this out, right? I mean, that was more of what it was. And then every 2 years I said, we're not starting a new group of firsts again ever, guys. We're too old. And then we go and start a new group of firsts, right? Yeah. And it happens, and we don't retire characters in the sense of other campaigns. Our characters don't retire at all. They either get married, have kids, get a fortress, get some kind of political.
Yeah, even the highest level characters stay in the political machinations.
Right.
So.
Right. Only a select few go off into the sunset, never to be seen again. And that.
Like Hawk.
Yeah, like Hawk until Saturday night, where he got killed.
Until he's needed.
Absolutely. And some of them are like, we have a lot of players that stop playing for one reason or another. Over 40 years, you're going to get some of them. And the latest probably was being John due, we all know, unfortunately, to some health issues, but he came back Saturday night. And that hence is why thing with leprosy, Lo, you're disturbed, man. That's awesome. What's his name? Oh, man.
I had a high elf with leprosy before.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Thwin Thane. Oh, that is so awesome. That really gave me a chuckle, man. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so, but those characters, like when Tom didn't play, I NPC'd like Ace and, a couple people. And I'll NPC now Branwyn and Sven up in the Vesve for the time being. And, Tom doesn't have any characters in the high-level Vesve group. Mark can bring in, Mark doesn't have anyone specific. So when we do run that again, there'll be some new blood up there, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
Could someone look that up? I'm really sorry. Guardian. Mark, can you look up the Guardian? And
I got it right here.
yeah, he's gonna pull it out. You like that? Well, Will, it's a great class, and we made some modifications to it, but very, very minor. Mark's got it. He'll take a look and tell you which one it is.
Yeah, because they can track, right? If I remember
Yeah,
right.
it's a great class.
It's a good class.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you like playing,
the specific month was actually January of '88. But let me get the.
Yeah, so it's a little bit later. Yeah, January of '88 is the year and date, so you should be able to get it off that. Mark will take a look. Good question, Will, because take a look at it, and I'll tell you what little minor adjustments we made to it. Nothing major. It has a class level limit cap of 9th. We removed that. We also gave them some better specialization when they turned 9th, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was it. We made, and we gave them wisdom bonus on their spell list. I think that was about it. I look at it this way: we'll play test anything. Oh, there goes Bill again. Well, yeah, halflings can be a lot of fun. Halflings can be a blast to play.
Number 129.
I'm texting Bill. I'm not sure if he's aware.
So, well, it's dragon number 129.
There you go. So I just let him know that he popped off for a second there. Yeah, no problem. Will, like I said, I'll Discord you with some of the minor changes we made as well.
Yeah, it really is. In all honesty, it really is. It's a fun class. If you like, you have to like halflings, though. I mean, that's the basic gist of it.
It's a halfling only class too, which is good.
Yeah.
So, like we have in our campaign, the dwarves have their only the shield thane is a dwarf only class. Halflings have the guardian, which is their only class. Have
the elven cavalier.
Great question by Lowe, which are so close. Have you been into the lands of Eas yet? The answer to that is, with all the grandiose stuff we've done, no. Never done City of Skulls. Never did that other one where they go free Homer. We didn't. No. Now
Eas the Evil, isn't it?
Eas the Evil is no. It's the City of Skulls, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've never done an incursion of fight against Eas in that way. It's kind of like on the fringes more. Now Eas just got trapped in Castle Greyhawk in our adventure in Expedition to the Ruins of Greyhawk recently, which we did about a year ago. But then he gets freed again at the end, along with Zuokin and Robilar, the real Robilar. The real Robilar is back in our world, not the fake Robilar. And that's a weird, long story, which we could tell sometime again. Yeah. He is... we've never done that, and it's kind of the good versus evil struggle. I know I follow a French digital graphic artist on DeviantArt, Dungeon Meister. It's unbelievable Greyhawk stuff, unbelievable, and he does stuff, but they killed Eas, and where do you go from there? So, and then the campaign kind of ended. They went with the next generation of characters, which makes sense. But that's not. I don't think that's where we go in ours. We got a lot of ours is more like evil's incurring, and we're trying to stop it more. Yeah, and there's a big there's a big discussion on that Anna and I always have with a Kalavdra and this whole. There's a Kalavdra worship Loth. There's a Kalavdra worship the Elder Elemental God. And it's just that there's a lot of enmity there. Grazitz himself hates Eas, and Grazitz is his father, right?
Yeah.
He can't stand him either. The only one who loves Eas is Igwolf, right?
Right.
So yes. Well, the enemy of my enemy of a friend thing is where we go with the Torch of Grumsh. So hopefully he's trying to reboot that thing.
Yep.
Because we want to show you what he's crafting. He's crafting some great stuff. Yeah, Yeah.
Well, and to kind of add into why we never went after Homer was because I'd be the only one that would ever want to save a native Shieldlander anyway. So.
Well, we went a different direction there too, right? And now I know we're getting off on a tangent here, but we have an oligarchy of 3, and Katarina, which is Homer's niece, who's much more efficient than Homer ever was, is one of the 3 oligarchs, along with Valderessa Sharn, who's dead in everyone else's world but ours because she died and she just got killed off in front of the ashes, and David Gradavis. So Mark's player character. Yeah, Zug to me is banished in ours because of Temple of Elemental Evil. Yeah, banished from the Prime Material Plane, which happens if you can actually banish her in that. Yep. Awesome stuff. Well, hopefully Bill will be able to hop back on here. He hasn't texted me back, so I'm looking to see if he's got if he had an issue or he's rebooting it or something.
Yeah.
But so. I'm going through my notes here. We have done a lot of adventures that I don't remember with these groups, and I got the names of them. I remember the Gauntlet of Grumsh. I remember Chain Madness. I remember that was a good one. That goes back number 328. I'll tell you a little story about this. Chain Madness is a spell by Iaz that everyone can get a form of insanity, and they try and get it through whole communities. Yeah, please feel free to ask that question. Mark's looking at it right now.
Yep.
And Mark will be able to answer that for you.
Yep.
And the Iaz priests were trying to put the Chain Madness through all the communities to kill off all the people in their way, and they killed off a lot of smaller communities, and the people out of the Eagle's Nest, Alinor, and the Knights of Ulick came and eventually stopped it, and that was a cool one. I recommend out of this. This is where the Specialty Priest of Iaz originates. Now you really got to flesh it out more than what they did in here. But if you want to put some Priests of Iaz in a Vesve campaign or Shieldlands campaign, this is the book to do it out of. If I can find it. Oh, page 7. Priesthood spell. They got a lot of unique spells. I threw one against them on Thursday night, and I got figures for it too. Claw Cloud. Let me just read that real quick. Claw Cloud. So it basically summons a flock of 10 plus 2 dice 6 giant ravens. It's kind of nasty on someone, and they just it's kind of like the movie The Birds. They rip them to death, right? And another druid spell, another druid use. Alan's character, Lillian, ran under a tree and then cast was it Branch Assault?
I think it was Branch Assault, yeah.
Where all the branches you activate the branches as a druid, and they just start coming and slashing down on everything, and they killed off all the ravens that were claw clouding her. It was a brilliant use of a spell. Very, very smart move of the spell.
Yep.
But I love throwing spells that no one's ever seen before, and I hadn't used that one that often, and that was another place to use a cool Priest of Iaz spell, and you saw a specialty druid of Rolthane Ralithol negated it with another spell, and that's the cool thing I like about our campaign. You get stuff you don't ever see in other campaigns because you're not using a spell list that only has 20 spells on it. We should add up our spells. It's got to be in the thousands. I'm not sure how many. So what's the answer to Legend's question?
Okay, so Legend Thaco is something that it did start off in first edition, and what it was intended for was to give players the ability to kind of calculate and save the DM from doing a whole bunch of math. But effectively, yes, in first and second edition, the matrix that was for armor class went from -10, which was the best, and 10, which was the worst. Okay, and Thaco is the acronym for to hit armor class 0. It's really a way to calculate what it is that you're supposed to do. As far as like when you are doing attacks, you just roll the hit plus or minus any of your bonuses, and then based upon what your Thaco is, you can figure out whether you would have hit that armor class. We have it actually on our sheets, the character sheets that we use, but frankly, we've been playing for so long that most of us have memorized what the matrix looks like, and there's an entire section, and I'll bring this out, Jay, because I have I actually have mine out. So
Yeah,
if you take a look at the actual matrix, you can see that for like fighters and stuff, which is on this side.
yeah. Old 1E.
Yeah, it's a whole breakdown of how a character can in combat what they need to roll to hit for each one of the appropriate armor classes. So,
but let's be honest. How many times do I have to say during an adventure, if you're 7th or 8th level fighter and you THAC-O of or all the monsters on armor class 4, how many? How many guys say? You needed 12 guys. 12. What was that? 12. Base 12. I go through a lot of that during the game, but then again, it's a lot of excitement.
It was really, I mean, the concept of, and this is pretty common through D&D, a lot of the actual matrices and so forth, you really had to be pretty decent at math, which is why people like us were, kind of drawn to it. Just kind of made sense. So,
yeah, Legends. It's just in reverse a bit. Once again, you can't keep teaching old dog new tricks for us, and us being 1E, 2E guys. I can adapt into a 5E game. It's just this is what we're not switching. We got so much history and wealth in what we do, and we love the way we do it, and we love specialty priests, and because I got 38 different specialty priests, and I got 4 specialty druids, and I got Avengers, and I got magic user spells that no one's ever seen before, very few people use, and we got classes that like Saxon and Knight and Elven Cavalier and Guardian and Monk and Duelist and Swashbuckler, and it goes on, and Renshake goes on, and it's just, this is where we're going to stay, and this is our niche. We're gonna hold in here, and we're gonna stay here. But there's something I'm gonna be doing at the end of the month. We'll talk about that in the announcement thing in about 20 minutes. We'll take care of that. So I guess Bill hasn't even texted me back, which kind of scares me that his whole thing just died, and he doesn't have Zoom on his PC. I don't know. So but Mark and I will move forward here. And we'll maybe have to hold on these crafts to another time. So 729 was Throne of Ease. That was a published module. Remember, it had that sloping hill with a mound down. Remember that?
That was nasty.
That was a nasty adventure. I think there was a black dragon in that. That was the higher level characters.
Was it black or was it a shadow?
It was a shadow dragon. That's right. Good memory, Mark. Yeah, absolutely. It was a shadow dragon in that one. That was published.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a dungeon. I'm thinking it was a dungeon magazine called Throne of Ease, and it was like third or fourth, and I had to convert it back. Not a big deal. So they've done multiple adventures to the Druid group for the tattoo artist Alosha, and they're doing another one on this adventure. So, getting back to the Defile Glades, it's a blight on the entire Vesve, and everyone except the East people want it gone, want it back to its normal, natural place. Thank you. Okay. Yep. Thanks, Will. Yep. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's nasty. Run that one. I think it's placed in the northern Vesve for us, but you can run it anywhere. That's where we placed it. But it's a dungeon mag one. Thank you. So she has discovered Alosha, being part of the Old Faith, that there are these tablets from Obadiah, and we call them the tablets of Obadiah. Don't know much about them, but she wants the group to collect them, believing the key to recovery of the Defile Glades is in there somewhere. For every tablet that the group brings to her, she'll do a tattoo for the party. So that's kind of our tie-in as to the direction of where we're going on a good versus evil scale. What's going to happen? No one knows why the Defile Glades is the way it is. I know there's a couple people who have, like, I know Malden has a great idea. If anyone knows Dennis Tetro, he's part of our Greyhawk Online server, Discord server. and his site's Malden. It's one of the oldest websites there is for Greyhawk. He has it that a gem from the Ashen Staff, the heart of the Ashen Staffs there, something like that. Good, and that is causing it, which is kind of cool idea. We have it so that the rumor is that there's multiple items. So I'm going to scan through this real quick, Mark. Just take a quick look here. Whoop. All right. Remember, the adventure is named Darkwood Hart that we're running. So here we go. There you go. Notice it has a, wow, it has a shadow. The staff gives off a shadow of a female or a person or something like that. So, all right. This may be something that they find within the next 2 weeks in the group of the Druids that they're going into the Defiled Glades area. So it's kind of cool that bringing in some almost semi-artifact weapons or things for the group there. And that's our monster they're going to run across soon coming up here. So I love the area. It's an area that there's not a lot of published living. There was not even a lot of living Greyhawk in there. Not much at all. And Anna did a great job of putting stuff on the map. And when you see, I mean, when you go on here and you see in this whole map area, the Eagle's Nest is ours. Delvin Brass was already there. All the others, I think Talaska may have been added. That's it. That's in the northern Vesve. If you come down here, you have Shadowkeep, which we discussed at the beginning, that she thinks is a Shadowclaw fortress. So you guys are walking almost right by it. It's kind of ironic, right, Mark? And Serpent Mound is another place, but I think that's mentioned somewhere else. I mean, look at the map. There's nothing on it.
I remember reading something about Serpent Mound.
Yeah.
I want to say either the Living Greyhawk Gazetteer or
the map is devoid. The map is devoid of player content that Anna adds. Anna adds a lot of cool stuff to her maps. Yeah. It's devoid, and well, we should have put our Grove on there. That was a spot I missed with it, but there's a lot of room for DMs who are Greyhawk guys to go out and make it your own in your Greyhawk campaign. It's a great place to.
Okay, we don't want people to find it. We had a hard enough time on Thursday with somebody finding it.
Finding what?
The Grove.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. But it should be represented on our map, just so it's represented for us. But good point. It is kind of secluded and hidden, but it's in all the years, this is the first time they ever got attacked. So make the campaign yours, of course, right? Whether you do homebrew and you don't do Greyhawk, or whether you do Greyhawk and you use existing canon places, add yours into them all, like always. And I think from this area, there's so much cool infighting going on between groups. And we are not hiding our information anymore. You can ask Rox, you can ask Naz, Mojo, any of our other Celestian, any of our other hardcore subs. We are not hiding our stuff. After 38 years, we got him out. We'll give you anything you want for our campaign. You can actively use any of our NPCs, even our player characters. You want to turn NPCs, we don't care. Rules, just give credit where credit's due to something. That's all I ask. If there's anything you guys, information-wise, want to enhance your campaign, we're more than happy to give it to you.
I am sure that Naz has like clones of Michael Baton running all over.
He was mentioning Michael Baton this morning. Yeah. So notice that if you have gotten to 9 months now, and you can see on Mark's, the gold Michael Baton sword is finally part of the for what do you call it? Subs for 9 months. So you have Celestian has a 3 months badge. I'm going back up. See, I'm just scanning back up. Rox has a 1 month one. And let's see here. Tom has a 6 month. But I know that I think Brian and Naz now have 9s, and it's gold. And if you see through, they added a 5th. They just did this. Twitch did. So they made it 1 month, 3 months, 6 month, 9 month, and 12. They just did a 6 and 12. So here it is. So you can see this. There's our swords. You have a winged sword now, gold winged sword at 12. Now the Michael Baton sword's at a 9-month ability. Oh, Brian, you get it tomorrow? Oh, cool. Awesome, man. Awesome. So it's cool. It's a way also if you're a Twitch streamer, get your subs, give them some cool stuff like this. That's a good site on 3D. Our lightning bolts are all from them too. The rest in peace ones from them too. Something cool to give them in the campaign. So, where do you see the direction of the order of Yule going, Mark, in the Vesve?
That's kind of hard.
It is.
Part of it because, I mean, this is probably the first time I want to say in
10. No, not that long. 5.
Maybe like 2 real years that we've actually played these characters.
Absolutely. It was September 2017.
Yeah. I mean, essentially and granted, that's one of the downsides about what it is that we do is that we have all these really, really great ideas. We get them out there, we want to play them and so forth. And then it becomes really difficult to spend time with each group. So it's kind of hard to say where this group would end up going, like the vested interest that's there. Personally, I think it's probably going to stay under the covers for quite a while. Unless of course you dream something specific that would essentially happen. But I see these as this specific group as more of a what's the word I'm looking for? They're more like scouting is, like having an idea as to what's going on, keeping their ears to the ground of what may be going on up in the northern areas, so that they can report on it. I don't think there's going to be like a really big contingent that's going to be there. They would just be kind of that silent troop that is just, like I said, reporting information. That's kind of what I see.
I'm trying to do something here. It just says participants, you, me, and Mark. It says he's on still. Bill is saying he's on still on his, so he can't. So he's just he may get on chat. He's having issues. Sorry about that, guys. So you won't get to see what Bill's doing. You'll have to wait till Thursday. My apologies on that. So he could not figure out what was going on in his. That kind of stinks. But so Mark and I will clean this thing up a little bit here on the end here. I look at it with the Vesve as it's kind of the area we go to where it's so vast and so much you can do and so much I can just throw something out there. It may not have any bearing whatsoever what happens in the greater scheme of the Vesve. You know what I mean? Yep. And that's kind of neat too, because I don't have to worry about, and Brian always brings this up. Brian has always brought on, he loves Greyhawk over all the Forgotten Realms stuff because hey, Lo, thanks, man. Really appreciate it, dude. Thank you so very much. Love that response, Lo. Thanks. You're all right. Yeah, he's buttering me up. So it's not because you're buttering me up here, because you are a partnered streamer with us too. So hold on one sec. Hopefully I don't lose my train of thought. All right, you should have you deserve that too, Lo. Go for it. Chat again. You should have your diamond up too. I have so many to give because we got like 50 of them from the Saturday night stream. It was so many people. There you go. Cool. I have so many to give out, man. I'm about halfway through them. Yeah, it's awesome. We have, there's so much vastness and there's so much that you could just do. And Brian said this. Every Forgotten Realms adventure he did felt like we had to save the world or world was going to end. Yay, Frank. Awesome, man. And Brian brought that up. And I'm so happy we got Brian into Greyhawk now because he's running with it, and we're going to talk about that in about 10 minutes. But you're right. You don't have to run an adventure with Greyhawk that is going to change what is happening in the world. It may be a minor thing. I think the Vesve is a place where they have this grove in the Defiled Glades. What a couple 100 yards, right, Mark? Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. So say my name again, Brian. DM Brian, actually it is now, because DM Brian will be officially joining us as a DM on April 27th. Actually DMing for some of us. So we've talked about it a couple times, but I'm going to show you something. Mark, hopefully your eyes won't pop out of your head when you see what I've done. So I have it hidden right here. Brian put it the best, absolutely, about Greyhawk is a place where you can do stuff and it doesn't affect the greater cosmos as much as you would worry about yes, and wow, that rocks. That's great. I may steal that from Carlos. Every Blade of Grass in Forgotten Realms is written canon. Greyhawk is mostly written by fans. You're absolutely correct on that too. Yeah. Carlos brought that up, and we're going to hop into Carlos. Hopefully, Carlos' stream is going very well. He said some great. Yeah, all right. He's got 10 on now. Hopefully, get some more. Well, he'll have some more soon. He'll have some more in about a half hour to 40 minutes max. So, I wanted to show this too. We have our Order of Your rollers up top here, all of ours, but that is the Valley of the Highfolk shield. Okay, that is the Knights of the Hark for Highfolk itself, the Highfolk, the High Forest Knights. So I added those in just for tonight because of the area. The Order of Ulick works hand in hand with the Knights of the Heart. As we said earlier, Sir Florum is an honorary member, and there's only 5 honorary members of the Order of Ulick, and he's one of them. He got honorary status years ago. And they work hand in hand together with Furyundi, Valuna, and the High Forest Knights of the Heart. So the Order of York is allied with them. Just so anyone knows, in our world of canon, that's where we are with that. Mark? Do you remember any conflicts between the organizations?
Not off the top of my head.
The one I can think
know they exist. I just don't.
Yeah, the one I can think of is this: that if anyone reads about in the Grand Court of Furyundi, there's an element. If you know anything about Second Edition, we have it as Thrommel now. Okay, King Thrommel has an elementalist of fire, earth, air, and water as in his court. All archmages, right? We have a party member in the Legion who's a Knight of Ulick that wants to be a 5th, right?
Right, the para-elementalist.
No, quasi.
Or quasi-elementalist.
Alan's character, yeah. That's about it, as I can think of as a conflict. And someone once said to him, I can't remember who it was. I'm thinking it was Serenolol. And he's the one with the eyes. He's blind, but he can see because of his senses. Because he has that moonbow effect, which we don't use. Another thing we'll talk about next week, I think. He said to him, well, you're going to have to, if you're going to be a court mage to Thrommel, you got to leave the Order of Ulick. I remember that specifically happening. And he said, no. No, I don't. Because of the way they work together. That was probably it on conflicts there. So the Knights of the Heart are not loved by everyone, particularly by indigenous humans of the Vesve, because they see them as a little bit sticking their nose where they shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times. And so that's probably a lot of the reasons why when the wars went on, they didn't get as much help as they thought from the Vesve people. And that's a problem. But I'm not talking about the Heart, the true elves. I'm talking more of the Valuna Furyundi people, part of it.
Right.
I think that was a major issue going into the Vesve during the wartime. And I think that this whole thing, I'll give Carl Sargent and whoever did this credit in the From the Ashes, and then this, He is the Evil in the Marklands. They're fantastic. This is great. These two references are two, and I talked a little about this. Top three of all time. I put my 3 in no specific order, not counting the original folios. Free City Grail box set. Hopefully Will's on still for this, right? The Slavers reference, I love it. And He is the Evil of the Marklands. You can't have one without the other. What did you think, Mark? Would you say those 3, or would you put something else in there?
No, absolutely. I mean, as a fourth one, I know you're not a big fan of it, but I also like the From the Ashes set as well. If you're gonna really stick to canon of any kind, you kind of, if you're gonna go with Diaz the Evil and the Marklands, you have to have the From the Ashes set in there too.
You
Get
do.
away from Greyhawk Wars and all of that kind of stuff, because I think that those are a little bit overkill.
Well, and I agree. Yeah. See, there you go on that. And we'll talk about the Vesve and all the Overrun Stone Fist goofy stuff, and
Yep.
that's why I don't give it a top 3. And it's a good
Yeah.
discussion point. Is because of the all, and also I know, and someone mentioned this. You have to have a death that is meaningful. Well, why'd you kill Grimmy off then? A rubber chicken carrying gnome? You know what I mean? From the Fellowship
Right.
of the Torch. So, like I said, Grimmy's alive in our world. Valderessa Sharn's alive in our world. You know, but that's okay. And I just think this stuff here is so wonderfully done. I mean, getting these in pristine condition is going to cost you over $100 each one. So get them in PDF if you can, guys. Hopefully you don't care about the covers like I do. You know, but if you're going to do a Vesve Forest Highfolk campaign, you must have these 2 references. Marklands first, because this is all in the Marklands. Is Evil you need to, because it supplements it so much. I do have what the covers look like up here, obviously. There. That's the Marklands cover, and the Is Evil cover would be that. Oh, yeah, Celestian, you're absolutely correct. There's some great stuff in the From the Ashes, and I'm saying I give it a not top 3 in my name. And this is just, Will brought this up on his Greyhawk Adventures Facebook channel. He asked the question, and I said I can't put it in the top 3 because of some of the things I don't agree with in there. But other than that, it's great. It's extremely well done. Absolutely,
It's a really, really great reference.
Really great reference. But it's not top 3. The City of Greyhawk is better.
Yeah.
Is better, and it's number 1. It's number 1 to me.
And I kind of think that the reason why we like it so much is it was like the very first, with maybe the exception of the City State of the Invincible Overlord being so detailed, it was such a great reference to really bring out what Greyhawk was about.
Yeah.
And the thing that amazed me the most, and I always said, this is my own opinion, but I always said the entire reason why the Wars and the From the Ashes came out was more of the political thing that happened with TSR, you know, with Gary and so forth, that they basically were taking Greyhawk and kind of trying to burn it to the ground and go in a new direction. Because at the same time, you had the Forgotten Realms that had started up. And, you know, I mean, once again, you can use whatever it is that makes sense for your campaign.
Yeah.
You know, the comment that was made earlier about that, the fans have really done this. That was what D&D was all about back then, was they gave you the framework, and then from the framework, you went and did whatever it is that you wanted to do. And I was having a conversation with somebody as well, Legend, I think, about the like the old first edition books. Like they gave backgrounds, like you read through the monster manual, and they gave backgrounds of, you know, like the family trees or the environments and stuff about the monsters themselves. You know, really, really fantastic work that went on. Once again, gave you that framework, and then you were able to take that and really build on it.
Yeah.
D&D was really meant to be that thought-provoking type of game, to take it whatever direction it is that you wanted to take it.
And now the new content is great for this generation of players. Absolutely.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
But you, me, and Celestian, and all, and Carlos, and Leonard Lakofka, it's you know, we're so old school that, you know, that's where we're going to stay. But you made all the points are absolutely 100% correct on it. So, what do you think? Any other questions about Vesve or Highfolk? It's 9:07, and I don't know if I can get through all these announcements in 23 minutes. And a lot of these are surprises for everyone. Okay. Any other questions online? Please just drop them in. We'll bounce around here.
Yep.
Let's go over our schedule. Now, I'm out of town the next 2 days. I'll be up in the wonderful world of Scranton, Pennsylvania, where the office took place. That's where I'll be. Charlie Rourke. Yo, Jeff. There you go. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, man.
Very nice, man.
I think that reached a new plateau high in subs for us, that one. No, seriously, I think that hit a new high on that. Thank you so very much, man. Jeff's our number one as far as donating, and it does and plays in Marks, and they play at Jeff's house. Jeff's a crafter too. Jeff will be starting up a channel for crafting down the road, and I want to support him 100%. So it's Jacob Jansen. Jeff is the one who was instrumental in bringing Jimmy the Brush into raiding our fundraising event on that Saturday night. Made all the difference in the world. It was unbelievable. So thanks, man. Really appreciate it. It made the night. Tomorrow night's Mark's group. I'll be out, but my dinner with my customers late. I may be able to mod for a half hour to 45 minutes. In that realm, a half hour to 45 minutes. So if anyone else is on and wants to mod and can moderate it so that Mark or Jeff doesn't have to worry about it, let me know. I'll give you moderator abilities as long as you're a trusted member of our group here. I have no problem doing that. Like I said, you guys will start Prelude 5:45. I may be on for at most till 6:30. Right. Then I got to head out, and that's if I get from traveling. If I get there in time, so it's a lot of ifs. So I'll take my laptop with me. And Mark, talk about what's going on tomorrow night.
Yeah, so I like giving my group the ability to choose. So they've just started up another group specifically to the Shieldlands, and so I like to give them the opportunity to choose which group it is that they actually want to play, and they've been very vehement about wanting to play the Shieldland group. They like the idea. In fact, I was conversing with one of my other players who had not been able to make it for anything yet, and he was busy rolling up characters so that he could play tomorrow night. So, but that actual group is in the process of going through a 5e. I believe it was actually the very first 5e dungeon that got released, adventure that got released, which is called Horde of the Dragonkind, or Horde of the Dragon Queen. Pardon me. And for those of you that maybe didn't get it, I actually was busting Jay on this. He was telling me, he's like, you spell horde a couple different ways. And I said, yeah, Jay, that was a play on words, because incorporating what I did on our Saturday stream was a horde of draconians that came in from Kryn. And then you also have a dragon horde. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. But at any rate, they're just in the process of they made it to a town called Greenest that is under attack by a bunch of cultists and kobolds, and they also encountered a couple of draconians in the mix, which came into play, and so they're in the process of trying to save some of the townsfolk. So they're getting through the very first part of that area, and then subsequently are getting into chapter 2 of it.
And it's a neat twist on things. And Mark loves Dragonlance, and Mark's running the show up there, and that's awesome. So hey, and if you watched Mark's charity stream part, he introduced all this, and it was so fantastically done. So yeah. Absolutely. It was so Brian actually ran that. All right, Lo asked a question. I'm gonna verify for you the answer to that question right here. I'm gonna pop it up on the screen right over the pictures. Okay. Take a look at this, Lo. Look in the lower right hand corner. The one over to the one from the right. That is Dark Tower. Okay. Dark Tower is on our Wall of Fame. It is one of the best modules in depth, long, detailed, cool modules. It's one of the 24 modules that we consider on our Wall of Fame right now. It's one of 3 that are non-TSR products. So you have Harbinger of Darkness, you have Fortress Elendar, which is actually on our Shieldlands map now.
Yeah.
And you have Dark Tower. So yes, we do use Judges Guild.
They used to put out some incredible
yeah,
stuff.
Absolutely. So great question there. When it's worthwhile, like everyone loves Tegel Manor. Tegel Manor is a slog through room after room after room of stuff. Dark Tower's got some real humorous moments to it. It's got some real cool, just weird stuff, like the two doors arguing over the gem in the middle. Weird stuff. It's got Sons of Set in it. It's really a good, yeah. I recommend it if you get a copy of it. Yeah.
I was going to say, and for those of you that know Judges Guild, they also had a really, if you're an old board game player like I am, they put out a game which was called Divine Right, which was also really, really cool to play. If you ever get the opportunity to get a copy of it in some way, shape, or form, do so. It had all sorts of the old chit kind of pieces that you would move around a hexagonal map. But they had like characters like the Black Hand and a few others that were incorporated.
I will bring up my Divine Right box set from the basement for next week. I'll show it to everyone.
Cool.
I have it. Cool. I have it. Yeah. Now, Sebastian, you had a great question. Rapanathuk, which is an ode to a lot of the old school dungeon crawls, multiple modules, 3 of them I recall, and then they came out with this huge book with all of them together. I have every published module that Necromancer Games ever made. We use a lot of them.
Yep.
None of them made the Wall of Fame. Chaos Rising was on the consideration list with how do you say the demon with all the eyes in it?
Dweeblix.
Dweeblix, yeah. In Chaos Rising, we actually did that one with the Iron Brigade. We've done Tomb of Abbotsflor. We've run that one, but Rapanathuk we've never run. So Necromancer Games and Frog God bought them. I got all the in-between stuff as well. We ran a couple others. We ran Durgam's Folly is actually on the Shieldlands map now. Siege of Durgam's Folly. That's actually a Knight of Yula Keep, or the Shieldlanders group's keep location, right along the road on the way to Walrus Crossing. It'll be on Mark's map tomorrow night. You put the updated map on there, right, Mark? So, so that's another. So we use Necromancer Game stuff. We just never ran Rapanathuk. It's super long. So, and the other one that we were considering running was Caverns of Thracia. Low. I got the reprint of it. I got it in hard copy, and I got a PDF of it. And I was like, this is just it's too big for us. I mean, it's the biggest we ever want to do is like Expedition to Ruins of Greyhawk, which was multiple sittings, Temple of Elemental Evil, Siege of Durbanford, another Necromancer Games hardback book we did, awesome. So yeah. Okay, that's cool. I mean, you never know, Celestian. We have so much content now. We may get to it one day, but I have all of them. I have Prisoner of Zane, Maze of Zine. I have them all, and I love their stuff. All the way going back to Crucible of Freya, their first one. Yep. Love them. They actually put Freya in as a deity, a specialty priest off that module. So great question there too. All right, so that's announcement number 1. Mark, I even wrote notes on the announcements. Okay, I had to do it.
Oh wow, you're getting fancy.
I had to. Thursday, I had to because we got so much. Yeah. Oh, it's long, Celestian. I you know the feeling, man. You get to the point where you're like, we're ever gonna get this done. So the next thing, Thursday night.
Real quick.
Go ahead, go for it.
So 6 to 9. So for those Eastern time, we play from 6 to 9.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, it's
our first level
group. Yep.
First level characters.
Correct.
It's awesome. Thursday night we continue Darkwood Hart. They're in the Defiled Glades. They're fighting Yellow Musk zombies right now. They defeated at their grove. They defeated the Black Death Squad of Iaz. They're on their way into the spot that they have located on a map, supposedly where a tablet of Obadiah is, and maybe one of the malevolent items that caused the Defiled Glades to become what they are at. And that's where they're going. So they haven't made it there yet. This will probably be this week and a week after. So we're looking at 2 more weeks for our normal Thursday night game.
Yep.
Okay. Next Sunday. I haven't gotten to the juicy stuff yet. This is all basic stuff.
Yeah.
Gabbin next Sunday. Next Sunday, you have to tune in next Sunday.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the funniest ones we've ever done. And Bill came up with this idea. I've titled it Gabbin number 41, Rules Not in the D&D Rulebook. That's very nice to say. All the homebrew stuff you come up with and all the goofy idiosyncrasies of your campaign. We're going to discuss a lot of that stuff next week. And all the players are going through lists of all of our homebrew rules. Yep. I got a whole area of content just from my texting in a day. But we're going to go over all the weird stuff we do, why. We'll go over, yes, it's going to be an awesome one. We're going to go over
also some of the stuff we don't do.
Yeah, yes. We're going to talk about when you should do something if you think these rules suck. Everyone knows speed factor, weapon speed factor, and weapon against armor class.
Yeah, I was having that discussion.
Zip for out. Yeah. So that's one example of when you want to get rid of rules or enhance them with something else. So we're going to talk about all weird sorts of stuff. I talked about this with Timmy this morning about Tim running with his character. Oh, he's got special rules too. Fred the Farty. He's got a table that if he farts, it could be a solid fart by accident. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, it's really bizarre stuff. I saw Tim on. What's that?
He also ought to do Murdoch the Mighty.
Yeah, we got to get Tim on next week. I know he's on. I think he's lurking this week. So he runs off of a ramp. You'll remember this, Mark, and he does a pirouette in the air. The gnome while he's throwing darts. Do you remember that? I'm thinking, how the hell does an armored gnome? I mean, what are you, a gymnast? Runs up and throwing darts. I was like, oh my god. And then Tim's arguing online. Well, did he hit anything? And then Al goes, "Does it matter?" It was really funny. Yeah. Oh gosh, what a funny story. That's what we're gonna go over next week. I think it'll be a really cool discussion, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. And we want to hear your stuff too, guys. We really do. We want to hear all your funny stories. The week after is open. Haven't gotten to that yet, but the week after that, which is Sunday, the 8th. The day before, we're going to go a day ahead. It's 28th Sunday. Next DM's Roundtable. Okay? Yep. I have confirmed Frank from Nighthawk Gaming. Anna Myers confirmed. Carlos is only 50-50, unfortunately. I reached out to some other channels, and unfortunately, yes. See, Frank's all excited already. I'm trying to get some DMs that we haven't gotten in before. I'm going to bring some old guys back. If we just, I promise. We're just trying to get some new people to get an opportunity to join us in the discussion. Jimmy from Praters Rejects would love to come in, but he's traveling back from a convention. I have 2 other channels that have not responded back to me yet. Will. That's Will. I'm just trying to feel the love for other. Will. I love you, and you're probably going to get in on this. I just want to make sure I give an opportunity to some other channels, get them all in, so that we can have a great discussion with some of our newer blood out there, and that we've partnered with. I think it'll be a blast. And and Anna's a good luck charm, so Anna's always got to be in. So that's the 27th. I'm hoping to have a total of like 8, counting me and you, Mark. So,
yep.
So read that. Yeah. So, in terms of, why didn't it bring up Naz? It shows you as unsubscribed, dude. I think that's why you can't do it. Something's wrong. You may have to hit your auto subscribe. I think you're off. You don't have a sword right now, so it may have gone off today. So check that, man. That's why you couldn't do that. Yes. So check on that, Naz, because you want Michael Baton's sword today. The 27th, Saturday night, our first Saturday night special. Brian is going to DM. The 100% confirms are me. Are the Nazrat. First time we're gonna have a sub, and I met Timmy on Tim on very charming individual with that British accent, and he's great, and they helped me out a lot. Okay, something's wrong because it's not showing your sword. That's weird. Very strange. See if you can do any of the other emotes too. We'll have to figure out what happened. If you hit your anniversary, Naz, that's not a resub. That's just saying you've been on so many months. You may need to hit your resub butt still. Hit the gift of sub and see if you got to resub it. So Brian and Tim, along with Bill's a definite. Oh my God, Jay made a 5e character. Avery Rothschild.
Oh my God.
I made a 5e character, guys. I did it. Okay, I have a 3rd level cleric, light sphere, with a specialty in crossbow specialist, because I'm going to abuse the rules as much as I can. And I have out of 30 max hit points, I have 29 because I Jay cheats all the time.
Because Jay cheats.
Even though I rolled it right in Fantasy Grounds. yes, Tom. Tom with a cheer there. Thank you, dude. So what we'll do, that'll go to your choice. You already got one. You choose, Tom, whoever you want to give it to for Thursday night. You guys all have one, don't you? Your group all has one. Yeah, it's for Thursday night. So I have my character ready to go. Bill's working on a paladin. Tim's working on a ranger that's a archer type. So we're gonna add 2 more players, and we're gonna play with 5. It'll be our first time we've ever streamed. I've ever played 5e, and I'm excited about the experience. It's not going to be. Trust me, guys. We're not low. Don't have a coronary. Jay and Mark are staying 1e, 2e guys.
Yeah.
But Brian's a 5e guy, and Brian's a Greyhawk convert, and Brian's been a friend of ours for years. Thanks. I know Jimmy at Prater's is looking forward to it too, Frank. I can't wait. He'll put it on his channel as well. We'll just run with it, and we'll see how it goes. So that'll be the 27th, Saturday night. I think we're going to go from 8 to midnight. Okay? It'll be a one-off. And it'll just be on Fantasy Grounds. It won't be our old mini style. It'll be Brian will be from Michigan. I'll be streaming it. So yeah, see, I knew it. I was right. There you go, Naz. There you go. That button that tells you your anniversary does not resub you. Yes. There you go. You got Michael Baton Sword. Yay! 9 months. The Michael Baton Sword. So just think that's like 1/24 of his life. He's only 24 years old, so he's been with us for 1/24 of his life almost. That's kind of disturbing when you think about it, so yeah. So now the really juicy stuff. First, Brian Blumklotz is working on finishing up our collar chain. He is working on the City of Altamira logo, heraldry. Okay. He's working on the first Ulick Pathfinders heraldry as well. Okay, so they're all being in the works now as we speak with Brian Blumklotz. That's announcement number 1. Great announcement. That's a lower one. We've still got stuff to go. 2. The next, not to you, Frank, yet. This is something else. I know Frank's biting at the bit here. I have a couple new buildings from NBA coming. They're called Cenarivian Towers. They're big hexagonal towers. You go on their site, you see them. They're crazy expensive, but they're awesome. You can put figures on top of them. Well, if anyone knows about our campaign in the Pomarge and in the Order of Ulick, we have 2 Watchers Towers out in the middle of nowhere that are they're magically impervious. So I came up with this idea. These are perfect. We're going to do a Defense of the Watchers Towers super high-level Order of Ulick adventure in the near future. Led by Garth Warmonger himself, Alan's character, his half-orc, and you will see an appearance of the great Schlemmen Meal, the dwarven fighter with the battle axe sharpness.
Comatized or not comatized?
What do you think?
Yeah, the comet had to have probably many tails to be able to take care of everything.
Yes. Our new another minor thing. Our Jay cheats. It's like April 15th. They're going to open the next emote. We'll have this as our newest emote for level 1 guys shortly. It's all the 20 side level 20s. It'll be called Jay's cheating
Jay
dice.
has helped me. If you actually look at if you look at it for some reason up here.
Well, I'm doing that to bust balls. It's funny, man. So I got it up there. Yeah. So that'll be coming soon for you guys. And Brian is asked from the audience for ideas for one more emote. We'll have our 5th emote due to our number of subs in May, and that'll be 5 level 1 emotes, 1 level 2, 1 level 3. Okay. Everyone knows Tim's head's level 2, and Bill picking his nose, not our Bill, but the other Bill with a no on his head. When I gotta tell Tim no, that's what I use. So, okay. Wednesday, June 5th. This is great news. Anna said I could announce it here. The Greyhawk channel's Legends and Lore is no longer going to be in conflict with us. They're moving from Thursday night to Wednesday night.
Very cool.
Okay. So Legends and Lore will be moving to Wednesday night. Guess who their first guest will be that Wednesday night, June 5th?
Happy the Wonder Clown.
I have, yes, because Anna got it moved. I offered. She's like, yes. So I will be on. Yes, Rock. So like that. So now anyone who wants to watch Legends and Lore can watch it on Wednesday nights, and anyone who wants to watch us old schoolers play can watch us on Thursday nights. Thanks. Yes, thank you. I think it'll help their viewership, and it'll help our viewership too. And I will be on their show Wednesday, June 5th. Okay? Look for me with Greyhawk Mike and Anna that date. All right, now here comes a big one. I got 3 big ones. Big one number 1. I've been talking with Frank from Nighthawk Gaming. Everyone knows, God, I'll say it again, Frank, I'm sorry. Frank is the 2nd best miniature broadcast streamer on that exists in D&D. He's great. Professionally done, beautiful stuff. After the success of our charity stream, I don't think it's going to be a charity event. We're going to do a mega miniature stream of some sort with Frank and any other streamer who wants to use miniatures. We're going to try and incorporate it into one broadcast, all of them at the same time. Frank thinks he can do it because he's got a studio. We'll see. I'm like, wow, that would be unbelievable. Where we change scenes between our 2 channels, but it would all be broadcast on both channels at the same time, or 3 channels. I know Ian from Persetti, who does miniatures, wants to be in on it too. Going to be, we don't have a date yet set, because we got to work out we got to do a lot of testing on this. And so Frank told me something about his show I never knew, and I was shocked, and that's how good he is. He's got a guy who looks like he's in the back row. He's not there. I was like, that guy's not in your studio? He goes, no, he's remote. I was like, holy shit. I thought he was sitting behind. That's how good Frank, yeah. Take a look next time you see it. When's that show again, Frank? Is that Thursday or Wednesday? It's Wednesday nights, right? Yeah, unbelievable stuff. So we're going to do some testing. It may not work, and we may have to go to our individual broadcasts. We're going to try and do all the channels are on all the time. Okay. So check it out if you understand what I'm talking about. So that's the big announcement with us in Nighthawk Gaming, and anyone else who wants to jump in. Well, first we're going to try to get 2 channels together on testing, and then we're going to see if we can add more. All simultaneous. We'll cut to scenes and stuff, and we'll have. I think it'll be cool. And kind of convinced Frank maybe to do a Greyhawk stream here and there too. Let's hope. So we're working on them, but I think it'll be great for him too.
Come on, Frank, step
yes,
up.
I think it'll be a fantastic thing. Because Frank's old school, but he does 5e. I don't care. 5e doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's 5e. Brian's doing 5e. You know, care. Will does 5e. It's cool. All right, I got 2 more. So I'm saving the biggest one for last, and that one may not even happen. All right. So Kirk from Miniature Building Authority called me, and he's like, "I'm getting you these towers. You'll have them in a week or so." He goes, "I want. You're gonna be at Gen Con." Definitely. I said, "Yeah, I'm absolutely gonna be." Yeah, no, not for me, not here, Lo, not me, not Mark, not Carlos Lacing, no. I said, "Yeah, I'll be at Gen Con." He goes, "I'm gonna have. You know how we show ads all the time for Harbor Town? I'm going to have the entire Harbor Town setting in the main exposition area in the what, Indianapolis Dome, whatever the heck that is.
Yep.
Can you play a game? Can you DM a game there? I said, they're not going to let me do it right there, and you're not. You know, he goes, "Oh, I'll get it approved. I want you to DM for me. Do DM something to someone, even if you know." I was like, "You really want me to DM with what you're showing out there?" So it looks like I'm going to be DMing with the new Miniature Building Authority Harbor Town at Gen Con. That's kind of cool. Right there on the, I was like, "Well, we could move this stuff." He's like, No. We're going to do it out in the main. I want, you know, I want to take advantage of you, and you take advantage of me, and we take advantage of each other. So yeah, we have Harbor Town stuff coming. Mark and I kind of pooled resources to get some. Back in we have about $900 of stuff coming, and the top tier was like $2,000. We have some nice stuff coming, and I'm going to utilize it in Adventure once we get it. Probably we'll get it, but Gen Con will be here, so you're looking at probably not till August for that stuff. But you know, it'll be at Gen Con. I'm going to be DMing there with it. Also going to be DMing with Carlos Lysing at Gen Con. We're working on an 8-hour DMing game. Order of Ulick based. He said that's cool. But he's the veteran at Gen Con. I'm going to do the first 4 hours. Same group of characters, same group of players. It's not going to be a tournament. It's going to be just, you know, and then maybe level them up one. Carlos is going to pick up the final 4 hours and do a separate adventure. I think that'll be cool too. So I got 2 DM things at Gen Con already set up. Okay. Last but not least, I am in negotiations to get someone special on a Gabbin within 2 to 3 months. The person said to me, "Well, I play bridge at that time, so I'm not available." And then 10 minutes later, email me back, "Contact me in 2 months. I live in Palm Springs now, and it's 100+ degrees, and I won't be able to play bridge. But yeah, maybe I'll come on." I'm in negotiation with Leonard Lakofka himself to come on our Gabbin show in a couple months. So I think that would be the holy grail of. I mean, he's the last one. Yes, Leonard himself has in July or August. Looks like we'll be on as a special honored guest on our Gabbin show. Yes, that's the coup de grace of the night, guys.
Nice.
Yes, and trust me, I know everyone. We all love Leonard. I know he has his quirks on Facebook, but you think of the.
He is one of the canon writers.
Yes. So L1, L2, L3, L4, L5.
The Lendor Isles.
Lendor Isles themselves.
Yeah.
The Archer that we love. The Deathmaster that we love. Is he from the Sorcerer's Scroll? He's Lehman's Tiny Hut. Lehman's Tiny Hut articles and Dragon is him.
Yep.
So, hey, Celestian, if you have a contact, I mean, I'd love to. I will take. You know, we were looking for our next generation tier of people to interview. But you know, I have a relationship with Leonard when it goes back to some things. We talk a lot, and he's always said no. So I finally said, you know what, we're on a roll. I'm going to push this. And I kind of did it. And Anna said, if anyone, she's asked multiple times and got nowhere. She said, you know, maybe you got a shot at getting him. And we're close. We're over the 50% way now. So that was the big announcement out of all announcements. Is we may have Leonard Lakofka as a guest within the next 2 to 3 months. Maybe it'll be the 50th episode. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be very cool.
Anyone have any questions? I know we ran over a few minutes. We're going to raid CASL Entertainment tonight, okay? And it's for a good cause. It's night 3. I played in night 1. Anna Meyer and the Grow Dog, Alan Grow, are playing right now in their adventure. We're going to, like I said, you guys don't, if you can't afford to, it's no big deal, man. Give what you can if you can give a little bit. If he's got to remember, he's not an affiliate, so he doesn't have a cheer button. He only has a donate button. So he also has direct donates on Facebook. He does an organization, Red Rover. Him and his wife are huge into animals.
Yep.
But just go on and say hi. And like I said, all of our partnered streamers, anyone who I have a follow with, I highly respect. Look at their sites. Please give them a follow. You know, and we have a lot of people on now, you know, that deserve follows. You know, Lo, you even deserve some follows. I'm sorry. Lo's great. Anyone who plays at Gamma World online occasionally it's got my utmost respect. Yeah, but I think Lo was doing the original White Plume Mountain, if I saw last week, which is cool, super cool. And Gamma World, yeah, Rethix is Gamma World was great. Yes, give a shout out to Frank at Nightheart Gaming. Give a shout out to Will at Wicked Studios LLC. Give a shout out to let's see, Gratuitous RP. Give a shout out to, I'm looking through everyone. I don't want to miss anyone who's on.
Anna Meyer.
Anna Meyer.
Yeah,
Jacob Jansen's going to have. He's already got some followers. Give him some more followers. Give a shout out to Prater's Rejects too, Jimmy there. Texas guy, but not a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I love him already. Yeah, I think that's all the ones that I got who are on. So, guys, thanks. So that was a fun one. Next week's even going to be more fun. Ton of stuff in the works. I'm so excited about what we're doing, Mark. I know. What do you think, man? This is the sky's the limit.
That's all fantastic.
Yes.
I mean,
hey, thank you. I believe Dale Warden Dave I played with on. Yes, Frank. Frank, thanks for the talks, man. I appreciate it completely. I believe he was one of the gentlemen I played with on Friday night. So thank you. I really appreciate the follow. We're gonna raid in now. Sit tight, guys, and let's yes, Jimmy. Sorry you're gonna miss the DMs roundtable. We had a lot of fun during them. We'll get you in on the next time, and get you in on that. Like I said, we're all about doing some joint stuff. So let's build the community up with as many people as can. Jimmy's got some cool stuff on his channel, Prater's Rejects. Very nicely done too. Check it out. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have, or any of the other streamers that we partner with. He's been doing it for like 2.5 years. He's got some high quality looks to his. I think you got. Don't you have almost like a Boot Hill like game too, Jimmy? I mean, it looked pretty cool. It was something close to it. You know, I'm not sure if it's a D20 game or not, but it looked really cool. You know, some cowboy, some Western. I don't know if it was futuristic Western. I'm sorry, I wasn't. I bounce around a lot, but it looked really neat as far as the graphics, and the players were all excited about it. So thanks, guys. Here we go. I'm not going to put the extra screen on. Mark's game tomorrow night at 6. Deadlands. Okay, cool, man. Awesome. That's neat. Just content everywhere out there. All right, let's go say hi to Carlos.
Have fun at it.
What's that? Yes, whatever you're playing.
Have fun at it.
Mark said it best. Whatever you're playing, have fun at it. Play Greyhawk, though.
Yeah.
Play any edition of Greyhawk, any edition style. Get into the Greyhawk. All right, here we go.
All right.
Let's see if I can do this right. Let me go to my dashboard. And here comes the raid in. Three, 2, 1. Rating now.
Thing of immediate interest.
Please make me another percentage dice.
91.
As you look down at that churning water, there's a part of it that's really close to you that seems like it's churning even more so than normal. Hey guys. Thanks, Lord Gasumba. That's Jay Scott and his whole crew from the Order of Ulick just came in and raided the chat. So welcome, guys. Thanks.
They made it.
Okay, you're just in time for the action. So, Alan, yeah, you see the churning of the water in that area. It's a little bit more and a little bit more disruptive than the rest of the room.
Mark, that was good, man.
I'll mention that to
that was really good.
Let me take this off.
Let's see. To Anya behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Beware the water there. It looks like it may be likely to splash out